Chapter 1 Introduction to SQL and Databases. SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It is officially pronounced as SQL. SQL, as the name suggests, is a query language used to interact with relational databases. SQL is used to perform functions like inserting data into a database, retrieving data, updating data, deleting data, and other similar actions. The first chapter presents a bird's-eye view of SQL along with a brief introduction to databases. Contents. What are databases? Advantages of relational databases. Types of SQL. Data definition language. Data manipulation language. 1. What are databases? A software application needs to store data. There are two ways to store the data used by any application. Your first option is to store it in the application's memory, where data resides as long as the application is running. The other option is to store data on your hard disk, and then, via some procedure, fetch the data into the memory of the computer and perform a transaction on the data. The random access memory of a computer is limited. If the data that has to be processed by the application is huge, all of it cannot be simultaneously stored in memory. In such scenarios, a second storage option is required. On a hard disk, data can be stored in different file formats. It can be stored in the form of text files, Word files, MP4 files, etc. However, a uniform interface that can provide access to different types of data under one umbrella in a robust and efficient manner is required. Here, the role of databases emerge. Definition: a collection of information stored in a computer in a way that it can easily be accessed, managed, and manipulated. Databases store data in the form of a collection of tables, where each table stores data about a particular entity. For instance, if you are developing an application which stores records of students of a university, it will have a table that contains records of students and a table which contains records of courses. The information that we want to store about students will be represented in the columns of the table. Each row of the table will contain the record of a particular student. Each record will be distinguished by a particular column, which will contain a unique value for each row. Suppose you want to store the ID, name, age, gender, and department of a student. The table in the database that will contain the data for the student will look like Table 1 in the Audiobook companion. Here, the letter S has been prefixed with the name of each column. This is just one of the conventions used to denote column names. You can give any name to the columns. We shall see how to create tables and columns within it in the coming chapters.